Welcome to the Chromaniacs, everybody. Episode number 6 is live and on the air. Your weekly podcast talking everything San Diego FC and MLS. My name is Craig Elston, joined by Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena once again for another trip around the pitch. Tony, how are you, my friend?
I am really good. Got out of training earlier today. Talked with Honors Dreyer, Chris McVeigh, Extension, Head Coach Mikey Varas about what's coming up here and what was like after a long road trip for them.
Can't wait to hear those interviews coming up as Chromaniacs episode 6 continues. Alex Pena, what's new?
Oh man, it is summertime in San Diego, and the living is easy if you're a San Diego FC fan. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about the last match, what's coming up, and we have a 3-day weekend upon us, so it's going to be a very fun weekend for all of us San Diego FC fans.
Well, hey, for any early adopters who are listening to us on Thursday night, thank you. But otherwise, you're probably interacting with the show on the 4th of July. So happy 4th to you. Happy Independence Day. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're doing what you want to do with family, friends, so on and so forth. And, of course, the next day, Saturday the 5th, SDFC back at home, taking on the Houston Dynamo. A July filled with SDFC home matches. Will it be filled with points and joy and celebration and goals and excitement like the month of June was? We just got to stay tuned and find out. Here's what's coming up on episode 6 of the Chromaniacs. We're going to review, honestly, just another banger. SDFC comes from behind, gets all 3 points in Dallas. 3-2 victory. Chucky arrives. Dreyer, Angel the hero. Ilotsky gets an assist. We're going to talk about it. I mean, this team just continues to roll. The good times continue to roll. We'll go through it. We'll talk about a new contract extension for a key man in the back as McVeigh gets locked up for a couple of years to come. As Tony mentioned, interviews from the SDFC training pitch with Mikey Varas, with McVeigh, with Dreyer. Is Andres Dreyer the MVP of MLS this year? Is he actually gonna be MLS MVP? We'll talk about it. In our Voice of the Supporters section, we are thrilled to get this really going in earnest now. Get supporters' voices on Chromaniacs. We're going to be joined by the man known as Terriblesdfcmemes. Memes joins us on Voice of the Supporters, and we'll find out what's going on. He is a member of the Riptides, which I believe by body count is the biggest supporters group. Is that right, Mr. Sanchez?
I do believe
you were the one who told me that.
Yeah, I believe so. Once upon a time, even just official, like, you know, how that goes, the official members and then everybody else who just kind of got a deal on a ticket as well and just kind of selected a box. But they've been out here. They've been part of the beginning stages of SDFC. So shout out to them. We're excited for that.
Yeah, so we'll chat to Brandon and also just, you know, get everyone ready for Saturday's Purple Lot tailgate and for all the fun that is still to come. And, of course, we will wrap things up by issuing a preview of that Saturday night match. San Diego FC, Houston Dynamo continuing to try and dominate the state of Texas, which just feels good every time it happens. We are still a young podcast, gang, available on YouTube, available on every podcast platform. If you're watching us on YouTube, but you generally interact with your podcasts via, you know, your Apple Podcast app or Spotify or whatnot, go ahead, subscribe to us on the audio platform as well. For everyone who's watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. That thumbs up button, it's right there. A nice little comment below. Engagement drives the algorithm, and we would like to drive more people. Each episode, I can tell you, each episode, the audience is finding us. The numbers are growing. Things are getting bigger and better each and every week. So every way that you can help us along the way, whether it's a simple rate, a review, telling your SDFC friend, hey, have you listened to Chromaniacs yet? Did you know there's a podcast going on that's not just the official line, but is a fan-driven podcast? Like, please share the word. Tell a friend. We thank you. Okay, very short housekeeping. Very short housekeeping. Let's get to it, boys. We were in the group chat. We were texting on Saturday night as SDFC headed down to Frisco to the DFW area and to the site of the National Soccer Hall of Fame for San Diego FC and FC Dallas. And before we even get into the match, how jarring was it for you? Because for me personally, it was jarring to see SDFC on the road playing an MLS match and seeing an entire side of the field. And I've talked to some people there. I've got an explanation for it, but an entire side of the field, the 50-yard line, the 40-yard line, like the prime seats in the house, tarpaulined a la COVID, giving sponsors this. Look at that. And then think about Snapdragon Stadium. Think about the atmosphere you get every week in San Diego. And then I look at this, an established team, FC Dallas, and they've got an announced crowd of 11,000, and they've got some of the most important high-priced seats in the entire stadium zipped up. Can't even buy them because no one would buy them. And my understanding is that's because the way the field is designed, those sections are baking in the sun, baking in the Texas heat, completely exposed. The sunset is hitting them in the eyes as kickoff hits. So it's kind of an impossible seat for both heat, exposure, and view. But like, cool stadium, bros. You put like your 8 highest price sections are completely unusable due to your shitty stadium and weather and everything else. Like, guys, how good do we have it to be here in America's finest city with incredible weather and an actual stadium and actual fans and not this?
Go for it, Alex.
Man, it's great that we have, something that's a little bit newer and it does give you that, surrounds you in a good atmosphere. I've been in seats like that, like what you just explained. If you sit in the wrong section at the Galaxy home stadium, yeah, you're baking out there. And I can't imagine how that would feel like in the middle of Texas on a hot summer's day. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that either. Yeah, what about you, Tony?
I mean, it's a testament, right, to San Diego. And just, we always hear about, hey, look, the biggest viewership of soccer in the World Cup is San Diego per capita, like, it's a soccer city. We've been knowing this. And that's a testament to the entire region, where the official number in this 91-degree sunny day in the middle of Texas, 11,004 was the official number over there, right? Again, I know this is a San Diego FC podcast, but we do it's shared space with San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave's averaging 13,000 this season, and it's their worst season attendance-wise. So just again, put perspective in all of this. San Diego FC is also in the upper echelon of attendance in terms of just average game after game after game. Obviously, some gamesmanship in the final number. Just people who have been there and just have maybe heard in sports. By the way, again, shout out Sockers, who always announce butts and seats. I know, Craig, you're very proud of that thing there. But at the end of the day, like, it's a great spectacle to be able to see this. And it's something else too, of like, did nobody want to see Chucky Lozano? Like, does nobody want to see the number one newest hottest team in the league? Like I understand 92 Degrees fans, Dallas is desperate to get a victory, and they haven't been doing so well. But I mean, you just give these tickets away, and I don't think people would go either way. It's just a real reflection of MLS in general, who have been here for a while, and hopefully not something that San Diego FC can look to the future and be like, ooh, this can potentially also happen here. And yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate to be here in San Diego, right, Craig?
I mean, absolutely. And of course, we don't know, but maybe there was a Dallas Cowboys free agent signing rumor on Saturday. And I mean, that could have just personally taken 25,000 people away from the stadium and back to, DFW Sports Talk Radio. But when you're in an impacted market like that, it's tough for an MLS team to find their bandwidth. And San Diego FC will not have that problem in the city of San Diego, where the Padres have almost maximized their fan base. And then there's everybody else, and I think week by week, month by month, you're seeing the people of San Diego rally around this club, and the club is doing the best possible thing they could do to rally the fans around them, which is be the best, score a bunch of goals, win all the time, go to first place in the conference, wake up on Monday morning number 1 in MLS power rankings on the MLS website. Like, I mean, guys, I feel like each week our level of wonder has grown for SDFC to the point where we're almost getting, for me, a lifelong San Diego sports fan, to the point of fear. Like, are we now expected to win the Supporters Shield? Does Dreyer have to be MVP if we lose in the first round? Is this a nightmare? Is Nate Kading gonna bring out the glowing ball for a playoff match? Like, help me. They're doing too well. I'm scared.
Cursed imagery there. Just Nate Kading missing the stand. Just not able to get it on there. Oh man, no, it's a good reality, and the players know that too. And that's kind of something that I spoke with head coach Mikey Vadas about. It's just like, hey, like there's this expectation now, and where it wasn't. We spoke with him preseason about like, hey, if we make playoffs or we're fighting for playoffs, it's a great place to be. But now you readjust with new data, with where you're at this point in the season. Even at the most monumental collapse, and they're still fighting for playoffs. Yeah, you got a taste of what first place was, but you still have to take that 20,000 foot view of like, well, they still made playoffs. It's a successful inaugural season, but we're talking the greatest of all time inaugural teams at this point. There's nothing that, like, the oil water has separated between, okay, good inaugural team to like you're moving into the elite of those.
Yeah, Tony. I think I mentioned it last week about the most wins for an expansion club and the most points for an expansion club. I even set it in stone and wrote it on my Substack in the recap for Tuesday. And yeah, that's how confident I feel about this club, that they're going to continue to keep winning. They're going to reach these milestones, and we shouldn't have that skepticism that we have in San Diego, that this is all just going to fall apart. It would be a total catastrophic disaster if this were to just end up we missing the playoffs. We just don't have enough points to reach any of these other milestones. I think this team is for real, and we're seeing it with each week, with each win, with each moment. That this is looking like a complete team here.
There's one way I think this doesn't happen, Craig, and I don't know what your thought of this is, but some news came down today of two players. They will not be returning this season, right? Andres Reyes, who,
yeah,
sure, sure, at this point, sure.
You can throw away the piece of paper now.
Yeah, the bit's over.
I literally found it, and that'll
it's all gone.
But then Alvarado, right? That's another midfield player that goes down. You try Manu Dua against FC Dallas, who makes a critical mistake that leads into a goal that, again, SDFC is able to move past. But it's that depth that I think we're talking. We're like, in a catastrophic scenario, what can it be? And that's the easiest thing to point at. Can this team last? Can this team bring depth into the team? And not only that, hasn't been an outside player who hasn't been with the squad since they started. So putting in a player to fit the chemistry has to be incredibly important as well. whether or not he's a starter, whether he's a rotation player as well.
Looking at Saturday's game, and of course we're several days back, so we don't have to go into a minute by minute recap. But you mentioned Alvarado out, Mano Dua in. As a result, Dua makes a simple rookie mistake. A blind pass back. I've seen it so many times in the indoor game. Somebody new to the Soccers and just makes one little mistake, turns into a goal, and then they can never find the field again. And Mano Dua got subbed out. Of course, at the end of the first half, Tomas Angel got subbed in, and Tomas Angel winds up being a hero. This is the kind of thing that for a young man playing in heat on the road in a tough situation, he thought he was doing the right thing, and he turned out to get the primary assist, to the opposing team for 1-1. As this game was grinding on, I was feeling more and more like this was the perfectly set up challenge to lose, because you've had these gigantic matches at Minnesota, at Vancouver, and then you come back 2 days later, 98-degree heat, crazy Texas humidity, nobody in the stands. You're playing in front of tarpaulins. A rookie makes a mistake, and then, Sebastian Lletget, everyone knows Sebastian Lletget. He gets his first goal of the year on a greasy hockey play, a scramble goal in front of the net. All of a sudden it's 2-1. And you're thinking to yourself, I was thinking to myself sitting on the couch, like, well, 6 points on this road trip. Everyone would have taken it. But there's time. Maybe we can salvage a draw, And then the 70th minute shows up. SDFC gets a corner. And in comes Chucky Lozano. And for the first time this season, truly, we get to see Chucky with Dreyer, with Olaski up front. Boys, SDFC nets 2 in 20 minutes and turns 2-1 loss to 3-2 win on the road. The goal you just played, the equalizer, Chucky finishes, but Olaski gets the primary assist, and he's part of a 1-2 with Dreyer on the outside. This is beautiful. This is the beautiful game encapsulated, and we haven't got to see these three guys interact in goal contributions with one another, and now we know what it looks like. It looks like gold.
Yeah, we saw it for 20 minutes, and hopefully on Saturday we get to see it for a full 90. It's going to be so much fun to watch. That goal for Chucky Lozano, you could kind of see like how fast like Dallas was trying to scramble back, but then they were kind of unaware of where Chucky was, because he makes the initial pass to Dreyer, and then they just lose sight of him. And I think it is a testament of like, okay, we got to keep track of Dreyer, we got to keep track of Olaski, and then you just all of a sudden you just like lose track of Lozano coming in, and I think that's what we're probably going to see on Saturday. That the team, the Dynamo, they're going to have to keep track of all these guys, and it's going to be interesting how they're going to do it. So Ilaski gets his first assist, and we now we see that not only can he score goals, he can also get that assist too. He can be a goal contributor in that way, and it's going to be fun to see all three of them just passing to one another and setting each other up for these goals.
The thing about Iloski is that the way that he plays in the midfield or behind the strikers, that he knows what's supposed to happen. He knows by the book, there's somebody supposed to be running at this point. Usually it'd be me, but I know that if I give a pass and if I look up, there should be somebody crashing into that small box, that being Chucky Lozano. He gives a great pass, and it's that vision, that understanding, and this is where this style, the San Diego FC style, is now moving into this an ultra instinct sort of maneuver where they're moving without thinking, as Mikey Vadas has already said, but it's in harmony. The attack is just working so harmoniously. It's really good and really cool to see that with the amount of minutes that they've played together, they've been so effective. Milan Iloski's numbers are impressive because look at what he's doing in the few minutes. Now you put these three players together. Look at what they did. They turned this whole game around. Chucky Lozano right now still isn't 100% match fit, but you still have a couple of minutes for him to be an impact player. I really do think that Mikey was going to hold on to him just a little bit more if he needed to, but he said, hey, no, I need to deploy a Chucky Lozano right now, and it ended up working. Kudos to Mikey again. Once again, those substitutions are key.
Yeah, and it was perfectly timed. I remember we were even chatting, and when that corner came, it was like, boy, this feels like the right time for Chucky to come on. But I agreed with you. I thought it could be the 75th, the 80th minute. I'm sure if they were up to spit, Lozano never sees the field on Saturday night. But that wasn't the case, and SDFC needed their top three to come through in order to get 3 points. And now, we're getting to the point where we need a nickname for these cats, like the U.S. women's team has the Trident up top. I mean, the triple threat. I really, truly believe that when you put Alosky, who has vision, a goal scorer's hunger, but as we just saw, the ability to be a contributor as well, and you put that alongside the dynamic play of both Dreyer and Lozano on each side, like we didn't know what our club's level was going to be compared to MLS. It might be at the top.
I agree with that. I don't know. Nicknames. I like this. They have to have something. They let them get a full game in and then see, how Mikey Vadas weaponizes these players and makes maybe Houston suffer. Like that's the key now, where if you're an opponent and you see SanDiego.FC coming from the horizon and you've never faced them, look at what they did in Vancouver. Look at what they did in Minnesota. Sure, you may have a better chance the second time around, but if this is your first time seeing SDFC, strap on.
Yeah. Go for it.
No, go ahead.
No, I completely agree with Tony. And I think the name, it's got to come naturally. So hopefully we can come up with something by Saturday or after Saturday's game.
The easy one's Pop Gun.
Yeah.
Related.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of ways you can go. Three amigos. I don't think that'll be it, but incredible. And then of course Dreyer gets the primary assist on Tomas Angel's match winner. Angel finds space in the box. FC Dallas fans. There was a great video. I don't know if you guys saw it, of the FC Dallas fan just like losing it on social media, literally drooling in anger as this happened. But tough year for SC Dallas. It has one win at home the entire year. Maybe because they play in front of a bunch of fucking tarps. Maybe that might be the reason. I mean, it just could be. I'm pontificating here, but Dreyer, the goals, the assists, the work rate, the defense, the relentlessness, the match fitness that he's creating things in the 94th minute, in the 95th minute. I mean, this guy has ticked pretty much every box, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And I was expecting just, the winger that I prototypically see, just, Kim coming in for crosses and things like that. But we're getting so much more out of Dreyer than I think anyone ever expected. He can score goals. He can the way he passed that ball, like in the penalty area, like that was amazing. Just for Tomas Anhed to like just turn and shoot. And it's just realizing like how great of a player that Dreyer is. He just, I think the league, like he's getting so much better with each game too. He's gonna absolutely blow past his career numbers and goal contributions and possibly assists and pretty much any statistical category that he's ever had. He's really dominating this league, and people are really starting to take notice. Yeah, he was last month's player of the month, and he's like, well, he's well deserved. And the thing about it is, like, we've only had a half season of this. There's still so much more that we can get out of Dryer, and it's exciting to see. It's just if he's in that MVP conversation like right now, and just if he can just keep at it, yeah, he's going to be a lock for that Landon Donovan award at the end of the season.
He's very unselfish, and that's what I'll say though. Like, he's the exact player that you want in that position because he can get it done by himself, but he has the unselfish nature to say, you know what, I'm gonna go and have to do what the third thing the defender's thinking I might do, but that's gonna be the unselfish team play, and he gets it done.
Truly does. Truly in the conversation, and you can read, at Chromatic FC, just the numbers of previous MLS MVPs in terms of goal contributions and where Dryer is, and he's almost got a full season case with 14 matches left. So it's ridiculous. The Aaron Judge of MLS, is 5'8". Anders Dryer, absolutely incredible. This week, boys, SDFC announces a contract extension for center back Christopher McVey. He's locked up, option for 2028 for sure, 2026, 2027 for Christopher McVey. Thoughts? Obviously, he's been really solid this year, but I guess this is kind of the trend right now for the club, right? Is the team is doing well, and then they're announcing locking in pieces of this successful team going forward.
I really do like Chris McVey getting the recognition by the club. In training today in passing, I don't know if this means a little bit too much, but like saw Tyler Heap's general manager pass, and like he was just kind of chanting it up. And he's like, man, it's been a lot. So either that tells me that negotiations are happening, he's scouting, he's looking, he's seeing, like, but this is one that I'm really happy to have to see actually come to fruition because he's earned it. He's earned it. He's one of two players that has played every single minute for San Diego FC. He really stepped up, and in times where he gets to play with a different back line almost every single game, yet is able to not only be a leader, but he's able to be somebody who moves the play style forward. Chris is somebody who I think is surprising a lot of people, not just on the defensive side, but on the goal scoring side. He's getting it done as a defender. Chris Sergio Ramos McVey over here, just set piece extraordinaire, has had a great season, and he's the player that knows that he was not necessarily the first choice, obviously, by the club. But with the announcement of Andres Reyes, I think it just comes natural that it's like, okay, here's the answer to who Reyes is gonna have to go ahead and give his throne to, and we've seen it. It's Chris McVey.
Yeah, really, it's really great to see that these guys are getting rewarded early on in the season. You signed your long-term goalkeeper, and now you have a long-term center back, and me watching Tottenham this season, you understand like how crucial that position is when your center backs are out for most of the season, because having to fill that role it's such a central and key role in the back line, and it's really big shoes, and for him to not only be like 1 and 2 with Dos Santos leading in minutes, he's also a handful of players just in MLS that has played every single second in the league. So it's really great to see that he is part of not only is he part of on the defensive side, but also the offensive side. He gets it going. He has the vision. He's also part of the group along with Tavares that he distributes the ball. So yeah, and it's going to be great for in the long term, right? when it comes to the Mano Duas, the Ian Pelchers that are coming up in this league, they can go to a Christmas McVay that has been here in the league, and he's going to be part of this leadership group for the next coming years. That's going to help develop these guys, and they're going to be playing the San Diego style of soccer now. So it's great to see Chris McVay. He seems like a really genuine, like, good guy, and I'm very happy for him.
Well, I think it sounds like the perfect time then to wheel him on in, because earlier today out in Singing Hills, our beloved Tony Sanchez had the chance to chat to Christopher McVay about this, the club's play, and plenty more. So let's hear some of that.
Started on, first and foremost, the big news. You're extending your contract, and how are you feeling, and how have you felt so far at the club?
Yeah, I mean, great news. I think I'll be here for a bit longer. So, yeah, I mean, it's been great from day one. I think it's been awesome, and the way we train and how we play the games and stuff. It's really fun, and I enjoy being here. So yeah, me and my agent had a long talk together, and we decided like this is the best place to be. So yeah, I'm really happy about it and excited for what's to come.
When the season was about to start and this team was getting formed, you're one of the first players, and something that you mentioned was that you were going to lean on that experience from having grown up in the Scandinavian style of soccer. How has that really helped you been being part of and adapting to this right to dream model, and now carried you into a starting position?
Yeah, no, I think that's just like you said, like it helped me a lot coming from over there, and being a little bit more adaptive to it. I feel it went a little pretty quick for me. So yeah, I think from day one, I kind of picked it up pretty quick, and then just been kind of taking steps from there, and it's been good.
And you've been the constant at SanDiego FC, playing all those minutes and playing alongside different back lines. What has been the challenge and successes in playing alongside some players that are barely coming into their own as young men?
Yeah, no, I think it's like the way we train. That kind of like differentiates. Like you train together with different people every time, so you're kind of used to it. Even though you're playing the game first time, you've trained with them. So yeah, I mean, still we're kind of a new team, so we're still building on that. So I think it will only get better. But yeah, I think it's been amazing, and all the guys kind of know how we're playing when they come in. So it's been no problem at all. I think regardless who you kind of play with, it's we got a very big squad. Which I think is important in this league, and you can kind of see that now. This last couple of games, there's been a lot of rotation, and some guys out on national team, and so on. And I mean, the guys coming in, stepping up, it's been great.
Off the field.
Great stuff from Christopher McVay. Just another reminder that there's been no Luca de la Torre. Good luck in the Gold Cup coming up on Sunday. Sorry, Tony. Good luck for Team USA in the Gold Cup on Sunday. No Anibal Godoy, although he should be back now because obviously Panama is out. But, McNair's been out for a while. So this club has been stretched, thrown on the road, put into some of the most hostile environments in the league. And all they've done is succeed. I don't know. I just keep pinching myself. Like, this is just the dream run right now. They're on a sun run.
Right in time for the summer. Alex?
Yeah. I mean, I completely forgot about Luca. And I can't. Oh yeah, that's another part of this offense that I can't wait to see how they work together with Luca, Chucky, Eloski, Dreyer. It's going to be great to have them back.
Let's keep the sound coming from Singing Hills. How about I was going to say El Senor MVP, but that would be if Chucky was in charge. I don't know any Danish, so Mr. MVP, however you would say that.
Tak is thank you. TAK. That's I've quickly a couple times said, hey, how do you say it to Yeppe and to Mr. Dreyer, and Tak, TAK. So if you're ever around them, there you go. There, enjoy that one. But here's Honors Dreyer.
Take me through this last run with SanDiego FC, and
nice. After international, with a good win in Minnesota after getting behind 2 times in that game, and showed a good strong mentality and came back and got the 3 points. And then of course Vancouver and Dallas as well. We scored a lot of goals, and we're very happy about that. We also want to close down in defense, but most important is that we get the 3 points. And yeah, what you said, like 9 out of 9 away from home, it's nice, and hopefully we can take that energy and that good feeling into the home game on Saturday.
And carrying that energy has been there since day one, mentioning it after the LA game at their when they first had the championship celebration, quieting that party, moving on, and still that energy. What makes this team special when it comes to maintaining that?
No, I think we're a very good group for the moment, and I think everybody support each other no matter how much each of us play or not. And I think it just shows the character of a new team. 25 new players getting along, and that's just nice. And of course we keep on building the culture here and keep on getting that winner mentality in our heads of everybody. And I think we just improve week by week, and it helps us in the game that we're such a close team.
And the team aspect is always something that everybody speaks to, Mikey Vadas all the way down to the rest of the squad. But individually for you, player of the month, all-star team, these accolades here in the MLS, does this mean a little bit more to you getting these accolades, or just another thing?
No, it's nice. I would lie if I say that it doesn't mean anything. Of course it's nice, but I couldn't do it without the team here. And that's what I think about, like, the most important for me is that if we do it great as a team, I have the chance to win and go to different things personally, but other guys as well. So it's all about the team, and then of course I'm happy to get some personal goals as well.
And
all right, I have questions, but they all have to do with Anders Dreyer's tattoos. He doesn't have an arm sleeve. He's got several small individual tattoos. It almost feels like he went in one day and got one, and he went another day, a few months later. He's got, it looked like almost like a champagne bottle or some kind of bottle on the right shoulder there, you can see. Now that's the one I love on the underside of the right forearm, is that it's almost like a Calvin and Hobbes thing, but it's like a kid and a dog like sitting on the ledge looking at the sunset. Then he's got the dice right there, right bicep tricep area. Can't quite see what's in the left armpit there. It's a horn of some sort. So I don't know if that's a minotaur or a horse or an oxen. I'm not exactly sure, but I'd like a map and maybe a more complete tour.
No, I love the style and just the aura of Dreyer just out there, like just that's who he is. Like, I don't know if like that describes him perfectly. See players like Diego Luna and you're like, yeah, that's a Diego Luna, the way he plays and everything. But like, this is just a fun loving guy, loves football, loves the game, loves his teammates, loves being part of the event. It's really cool to be able to just see him just take in this aspect of soccer and this foreign style of football so well. I will have a little bit of a sound when they ask somebody who's working for MLS, just like a quirk that they have just personally. But I'll find it right now. Alex, I mean, do you have anything on his tattoos? Do you have tattoos?
You don't have to. I mean, it's my own peccadillo. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so random. All the little characters and pieces together. Like, yeah, I wonder, yeah, can we get a map? Can we figure out what pieces are there and
why?
Yeah, the reason.
Like
what's the reason?
Like what's the bottle? Was that a champagne bottle from when you won a championship? What are the dice? Did you win big at craps one night or lose big at craps one night? That's a reminder never to play again. I'm curious minds.
Let me tell you what kind of a dog we have here in San Diego, just living amongst us. Here's a question about what a guilty pleasure was, and you may hear this on the Spanish broadcast for the MLS game this weekend.
All right, let's hear it.
Pictures that you have, something that people can feel a connection with you, like your human side.
I like after a Saturday game to have a beer and some candy.
Okay.
What beer? What candy? What candy pairs with a good beer? That I feel like the sugar and the hops are at cross purpose.
Yeah, I have more questions now about this.
So let me tell you this though, right? Like in any other just sphere, right? I mean, so reportedly in basketball, Luka Doncic was looked at for not, taking his fitness seriously and having a couple of cold ones after every. Head coach Mikey Varas was sitting, listening into this interview, waiting for his turn right next to him. So it's not like he was hiding anything. It was just like, oh, don't tell the gaffer. Like, no. Like he was there. So they had shared a smile right after. This is literally after he just walked off and they had a conversation. He's just looking at Mikey right there.
I mean, when you go 90 minutes strong, I feel like you can have a beer and some candy, I mean, you need to replenish some resources one way or another, Now, it's another thing if you have a beer and a candy an hour before the game. It's a slightly different training regimen. But, after you pulled 3 points out of 11,000 fans at 98-degree Frisco, have 2 beers. Have a Steinerbach. Enjoy some gummy clusters. Like, do whatever you got to do. Let's wrap up with the gaffer. You mentioned him. How about head coach Mikey Varas from training camp?
No, I mean, we're not in day one. It can never be day one again. But what we do is we just keep the consistency of having our feet on the ground, working hard, focusing in training. We want to be a relentless club in terms of having that mentality of continuing to go for more always, recognizing the things that we do well and celebrating those moments, but also being open enough to recognize that we're not perfect and we can be even better. And so it was just about coming back, having a couple of days of recovery, and then building it up into the session so that we can keep going again now at home.
And then what does it look like developing that style? Now it seems like authentically a San Diego FC style, almost separated from the FC Northland in a way. It's a new version of it. How do you then now start massaging that into develop for the rest of the season and maybe make it even more unique?
Yeah, we always said it was going to be a reflection of Right to Dream, but also uniquely San Diego. And that's just natural because the ingredients are players from different parts of the world with a coach from a different part of the world in a different league. But I think what everybody can see is it's clearly Right to Dream. And when you watch FC Northland and you watch San Diego, I think you 100% see partner clubs, clubs that work under the same family. At the end of the day, things will start to emerge a bit on their own because the principles that we work on, they become a bit more rich with the players taking them on at a deeper level, and then also the connection between the players. So the different kind of dynamics and relationships that they're building on the field will help things come to life. But we continue to focus on the main challenges, which are, are we able to get in behind opponents, creating big chances? And are we the most compact team in the league? And then how do we deal with the space behind our back line because of how we press? And then ultimately how we manage that transition since it is a transition league.
I love this guy so much. And I feel like sometimes I'm a little gushy right now because this team is doing so well. And it's just a reminder to love the great times. This is truly the honeymoon time for San Diego FC. When is it ever going to be better than this? When we lift a cup, lift a cup, lift a shield, lift silverware. That's it. Otherwise, we're going to think about those first year vibes when everything was fresh and pure and everyone's laughing at each other, beer and candy and contract extensions and late goals. It's just beautiful. And because I'm a wizened old vet of sports and pro sports, I really like to take a moment to kind of stop in the flower patch and go like, smells amazing around here and it looks beautiful. And I know it doesn't last forever. Everything is just for a while, but this is so sick.
Yeah. He's the right guy, catch the full media availability on SanDiego.Futbol on our YouTube channel. And he goes a little bit more into just like the individual aspects and these accolades that are happening, right? You have MVP conversations. You have players with CJ Dos Santos who are doing very well, and just overall. But the team aspect is a thing that San Diego FC I think is excelling at, and it's very simple to just look over and say, yeah, of course they're a team, but like, no, they're playing team soccer. They're playing association football, which is the scientific name of soccer, association football. You need teammates, you need that trust network. And for San Diego FC, that's where I hope that if whatever moves Tyler Heaps makes is the right move, not just for the squad, but just the squad chemistry, you have to be able to have somebody buy in immediately. Everybody's already bought in. There hasn't been an outside voice in this locker room since the beginning of the creation of San Diego FC. So those layers are going to be interesting as they come down. But yeah, it's really nice right now. It smells fantastic, Greg.
Yeah, he's been the guy that he's been pushing the right buttons, like bringing on Thomas Angel, late in games, Eloski, before he started games. And yeah, I think that's what I look at when I'm looking at a manager, and also how does he adapt, as the game progresses. And I think he's done such a great job just getting these guys to where they're at right now, because I didn't think this was possible, being in first place this quickly. And Mikey Vargas has done such an amazing job preparing these guys week in, week out. And he seems like, he's the perfect match to lead this club from now until the future.
As Tony mentioned, you can catch all of the full interviews with Christopher McVeigh, with Andres Dreyer, and with Mikey Vargas. Just go to the SanDiego.Futbol YouTube page and check out the video. They are all available for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, well, you probably oversight on your part, small oversight on your part, but please go ahead and take care of that.
Real quick, just a couple notes from training. It was mentioned that Aníbal Godoy has trained the past 2 days with the squad, so that could potentially just mean that he's going to slide into that starting role immediately. Lucas Bombino also just on the side in training, rehabbing a little bit, nursing something, so you may not be able to see him this weekend. So just things to keep an eye on. Marcus and Varson as well, just kind of in that in-between as well.
Yeah, Marcus and Vartson. The one day going, I thought this was so good here, but somebody has to suffer always for everyone else to succeed. So I'm so sorry, Marcus, that you wound up drawing the short stick this time. Before we get to an SDFC Houston Dynamo preview, as we said from episode 1, we want Chromaniacs to be a place that reflects the voice of supporters and fans, and not just an outsider media perspective of San Diego FC. So it is time for Voice of the Supporters. And first up for us on Voice of the Supporters is somebody who is already near and dear to our hearts and has been incredibly helpful to us, helping build the Chromaniacs social media platforms, helping put out the clips that you've been seeing on social media, as well as doing that for us at Padres Hot Tub. Padres Way. You can follow him on Terrible Padres Memes or Terrible SDFC Memes, and that's how he joins us now. I don't know if he wants to use his name or if he just wants to be Memes. What's up, Memes?
Hey, everyone yells terrible at me, and it's kind of weird because it's like it's who I am. It's my persona, but at the same time, it really gets weird when you're called terrible, obviously. So,
yeah, that's
sorry,
why
Alex,
I call you Memes. I don't want to call you
Alex,
terrible.
I knew you
You're
would
not Charles
recognize me with
Barkley
that hat on. So, Alex, I'll wear.
Oh,
those
yeah,
hats
there
so
we
you can
go.
recognize
Yeah,
me. There we go.
You didn't know he was on, right, Alex? It's
Yeah.
like, who is this guy? Oh,
now I see it. Yeah,
all right.
He's the guy in the sports section. Yeah, I know exactly who this guy is.
Hang on just a second. I just want to be taller than Memes for this.
I'm sitting down, so we're good.
Well,
yeah.
I know. Let me just start with kind of an opening question. Your relationship to soccer and what drew you to supporters culture.
So I wrote a couple notes, and that's honestly one of the things I wanted to really talk about when I had talked to Tony previously on Two Balls and a Mic, and I kind of told him, like, look, I'm pretty new to soccer, with the exception of, I'll watch like big World Cup games or the Olympics and stuff like that. But as far as like having a team that I follow, and when I follow a team, I get into it. I learn the entire roster and all that stuff, right? I'd never had that, and I had no idea. Obviously you see the chants at some of the bigger stadiums and all that stuff, but I didn't know. And and that's what it is. I had no idea. And now, a little bit over halfway into the season, if someone were to offer me, let's say VIP tickets, sideline or up in one of the club seats, I'd probably turn them down. And that's how much fun I've been having. I'll take that back. I'll run up there, get the free drinks, and then I'll come back. Maybe there's food, whatever. But any free drinks, I'll go grab them. Maybe if I can bring someone with me, have them stand right outside the door so we can, as many as we can get for the section. But it's been absolutely amazing. The people I've met, and just, man, some of those, I'm gassed at the end of the game, and it's crazy. You never would have thought, right? But it's been absolutely amazing. If anyone has any sort of hesitation, or that's not even the right word, they have this little thing that's telling them, hey, I kind of want to check it out. Please do. Please reach out to one of us. Reach out to me. We can get you tickets there, and check out some of the chants on YouTube or Instagram, and if not, honestly, most of the chants there's like 2 or 3 that are a little bit more difficult. Most of the other ones, you'll hear them once or twice, you're good to go.
No, it's great really seeing the development and growth of soccer, and I love seeing people enjoy the sport. I think that's what I like when I see people just kind of hop on and have that open mind of like, it's not just like the old Hank Hill, like, oh, you don't play as this soccer, Bobby, what are you doing? Like, no, like this is a whole culture. It's a sport, and it's really, you can really get lost in it. And credit to you, because you have been able to do that. And I welcome anybody who has any hesitation to go through it this way. And it's the organic way to do it. And for as just hardened and cynical as I've come, just being in the soccer circles and playing soccer my whole life, in a ways, like just seeing people enjoy it, you have, and just this. Yes, that's what soccer's about.
Yeah, it's been, and obviously, call it lucky or whatever you call it, but just having, a team that is taking this serious, to be quite honest, and putting, we live in San Diego, so that's going to be a big draw for like someone like a Chucky Lozano. Would he rather come here, or would he rather go to RSL or something like that, right? Like, and no offense to them, but I think we'd all rather come to San Diego, right? And so and then having the backing of these ownership groups, and it's being taken care of seriously. And so obviously we've, like I said, we're truly, Craig was talking about it earlier. The only thing that gets better than this is lifting some silverware. And that's coming, and I truly believe that, obviously it takes a lot to go right, but I truly believe that is coming. And if anyone has any thoughts about watching more soccer or something like that, for me, like I said earlier, learn who these people are, learn who these players are, follow them on Instagram. That way, hey, when this guy goes down, when Alvarado goes down, like, we kind of all know his story. We know, him telling the story of when they had their break and everyone was in Cabo and everyone was in Hawaii. Where did he go? South Central LA to visit his family. And it's like, man, it's like these little stories that you have, right, that really attach you to the team. And on top of that, just the availability too, I feel, of the team. You guys talked about Dreyer, how nice he is. I met him, his whole family. Let's see, it was Dreyer, his wife. They got a little kid that's like 1. I think it was like his mom and his dad, and then another guy that might have been like his brother. They were shopping. Amazing. I just talked to him for, typical San Diego bullshit questions about the weather, but it's just seeing players from other sports even out in public is super rare. And they had no hesitation, talk to me for quite a while, and it was really nice. But yeah, just the overall it just feels different than a lot of the other sports.
And so not only are you out there in the stands every day, but I've known you since before, terrible SDFC memes. I've known you since terrible Padre memes, and watching how your page has developed. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the start of that, and now going into the SDFC memes, and what a little bit of what goes into it, and also like what kind of interaction are you getting with that page?
So yeah, I talked about this previously. I was, as far as Padres, I was sending stuff to a bunch of different bunch of buddies, right? I would send them memes and stupid stuff that I would make up, right? And eventually one of these, it was in 2022. It was like April, I think. And I was like, man, I should just start posting this stuff. And I did. And I chose terrible as the name. I'm setting the bar extremely low. So if you don't like something, you can't blame me, right? It's low. And I'll be honest, there's some stuff that's really bad sometimes, but it's funny. I'll post something and I think it's terrible, and it'll get like, all these likes and everyone loves it. And it's just the internet. You can't explain it. So, just kind of going through that whole thing. And then with, when they announced, a new soccer team's coming, and it kind of started, there was like rumors about what the name would be. And I actually went on Instagram and I saved like 4 different names of what I thought it would be. And I don't even remember. It was like SanDiego.FC, FC San Diego. It was like, whatever. I chose a few of them. And sure enough, that was the one. And originally it was terrible SanDiego.FC memes, and everyone got too confused. I just shortened it, and it makes it easier. But it's just fun. It's so much fun. It's just something, again, I just want to, when I go in, I want to go fully in. And this is my way of kind of, I watch all the games and I just really get into it. And again, it's just my way of, I guess there's probably no other way to put it. Just getting into the games a little bit more, and just kind of my observations at times too. Just random stuff that, people might not have even realized. And I just try to, get it out there, and so far it's been so much fun. And just some of the people that Craig and some of you guys, on the Padres side, and now with the SanDiego.FC side, it's been a blast.
Now, of course, this is Voice of the Supporters, and you're a member of San Diego Riptides. So what did it mean? What does it mean to you to be a Riptide?
That's an interesting one. So I heard you guys talking earlier that Riptides is the largest, and I don't know if that's still true based on numbers. I will say we've come a long way as a group, as the whole union has, right? We've had our hits, and I think the Riptides are slowly showing kind of who we are. We got our first official MLS match coming up here in over a month, right? And I can't tell you, I'm so excited for this. The last one was Austin, and without, I don't even know all the cheese, I try to stay out of it, but for whatever reason, there was some groups that weren't there, right? And I think some really important stuff happened that night. First of all, it showed we need those other groups there. We need them. Like it was obviously louder when they're there. They bring a lot of energy and all that stuff. But I also say that those people that were there at that match, it also showed that they could kind of, do things on their own. And I really see this as like a win-win. Those that weren't there, they were able to see, hey, it would definitely be louder if we were there. And those that were there, hey, show goes on, and so now we're coming together for the first time, other than the Club America game. I wasn't at that, but from everything I've heard, it was really good. We've had a couple union events lately. Ale Smith, the last one at Fair Play, which talk about an amazing night with that was the night of Milan's 4 goals. But now we're putting it all together. And, so to get into, that was kind of a roundabout way of saying all this stuff. Us as the Riptides, I feel like we're coming into our own now. And then they take some other stuff very, very seriously. The outreach, the charity work, stuff like that. They try to be all inclusive. Doesn't matter. I'd say easily the most diverse group. As far as just everything you can think of, races and genders and all that other stuff. Easily the most diverse, and we just try to be welcoming. And I think that's the big thing for us. And to be quite honest, if that group doesn't fit you and some other group does, please go join that other group. It does not hurt us at all. On match day coming up here in 2 days, we're all going to be one big happy family.
Well, that's exactly right, Brandon. And I think it's so well said on your part. And I would just say to anybody, come to the Purple Lot, come to the Purple Lot tailgate and find the flavor that matches, your palate. Because as Meme said, if it's not Riptides, maybe it's Bada. And if it's not Bada, maybe it's USG 1-8. If it's not those cats, maybe it's locals. Maybe it's Chavos. That's what vibes with you. But within the community, people stand out. And quite literally, Memes stands out. Head and shoulders above.
Rail. Yeah, especially when I get up on that rail and I'm like 10 feet tall. But yeah.
You scare the shit out of me when you're on that rail and I'm next to you. Because I'm like, I know how, when this goes wrong, how it's going to go wrong. Directly into this shoulder right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Memes, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate
Hey,
you.
One last thing, Alex, you coined, the whole rivers to gates, right? Was that last week, I believe?
Yeah.
But I looked it up. Philip Rivers never caught a pass from Gates, and this week, Milan passed one to Dryers. So just saying.
Yeah, you have a point there.
Did Rivers ever catch one from LT?
No.
I looked it up and it said he has none. He's got like -9 yards on his career. Yeah.
I guess the wheel route and old Philip, slow developing play.
Yeah. I think LT always threw him to Gates, actually. Yeah. Makes sense.
Say it.
I'd rather throw it to Gates too. So.
Yeah, more likely to catch it or at least to be able to run. All right, Memes. We'll see you at the Purple Lot, brother. Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys on Saturday.
Thank you.
Incredible stuff. Voice of the supporters. And we start with Terrible SDFC. Memes, I want to get on a Dago boy, Bada 18, Chavos, locals, USG 1-8. Let's go. Let's go group by group. Let's keep stitching this community together piece by piece. Okay, it's we're into the second hour of the show. We're not going to go a second hour, trust me. We're going to go a few more minutes. But Houston Dynamo coming in, as Memes just said, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. First time in a calendar month that we've been able to watch an MLS match at Snapdragon Stadium. And this club's been cleaning up Texas lately. I know we dropped that first one on the road, but since then it's been some Texas domination. So, Alex, Tell us about Houston Dynamo and what we can expect with these Cats in Orange coming in.
Yeah, it's it's about time we get to learn about a new team here in the Houston Dynamo. And the very interesting thing about the MLS is most teams usually stay where they're at, right? There's always been the LA Galaxy, there's always been New York Red Bulls, or even the Columbus Crew almost threatened relocation. But the very interesting thing about the Houston Dynamo here is that's the only team that they received that team due to relocation.
Oh, really?
And yes, it because back in the day, back in '05, San Jose Earthquakes, they were owned by a different ownership called AEG. I think we kind of all know about AEG Entertainment.
The Wikis, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're currently, I believe, they're still the owner of the LA Galaxy. Back in the day, they used to own multiple teams, so Earthquakes, Galaxy, I believe Chicago Fire, Colorado Rapids. They were all
They
part of that group there.
Also on the Coachella Valley Invitational.
Yes, Coachella Valley Invitational, yeah. And so back in '05, in San Jose, they wanted a new stadium. They were playing in my alma mater, San Jose State University, Spartan Stadium. And when MLS wanted a club in Houston, they were like, you know what? We're just going to get the Earthquakes, the MLS Cup champions, Earthquakes. They had just won a championship. And not only that, they relocate to Houston. They take all the staff, all the players of the San Jose Earthquakes. And guess what? Not only do they win that season, the MLS Cup in '06, they do it again in '07.
Yep.
What kind of a league does this? And so for a while, the term was MLS in San Jose was on hiatus.
Oh,
Meanwhile, they San Jose got their stuff together and figured out, okay, we got to bring the San Jose Earthquakes back. They were able to get that with the current ownership of John Fisher and the owners of the Oakland A's, and they brought back the Earthquakes, and then eventually 7 years later or so, they were able to fund their soccer specific stadium right across the street from the San Jose airport.
yeah. It looks really nice when you fly in.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great stadium. But yeah, with that, there were the 2-time MLS Cup champions. Those were the only years they won, and currently they are 10th in the Western Conference. Yeah, so let's get into this. 6 goal differential. They were on a bit of a slide when they faced St. Louis on what was it, Saturday, and they were bit on a 3-game losing streak. They lost to Sporting KC, to Montreal, to Minnesota United, and they finally won one against St. Louis on a 1-0 game, and the goal came from Ezequiel Ponce. Ponce right now is the leading goal scorer for the Houston Dynamo, and this is going to be a group that loves to use their fullbacks. They love getting crosses in. And that was the way they actually got their own goal on Saturday. They got a cross in. The ball kind of was going left and right, and they finally found the back of the net. And that's the way they're going to try to score. They're going to use their fullbacks. They're going to really go up the near side, up the far side, and that's the way they're going to work their magic here against San Diego FC. But some of their players that they had missing from last game, Jack McGlynn, who's currently playing for the U.S. men's national team, he was out. He's playing in the Gold Cup, and due to yellow card accumulation, Griffin Dorsey was out last game. I'm pretty sure he's coming back this game. and he is part. Those two are their top passers, their top assist goers. They provide. They set up the goal, and someone else kicks it in, and it's most likely Ezekiel. But yeah, so Griffin Dorsey, their fullback, he is very much involved in their offensive production, and I think that's pretty much what we're gonna see between him, Arthur in the middle, and Ezekiel up front. That's going to be some of the key players for Houston Dynamo on Saturday.
Tony, something stands out just when I do the cursory stat check of Houston. And I mean, this is a club that scored like 20 fewer goals than San Diego on the season, but they are tied for the MLS lead in road draws with 4. They have almost as many draws as they have wins or losses. They have 2 wins, 3 losses, 4 draws on the road. And I mean, you can just look up and down. Dallas 4 draws. There's even Galaxy 4 draws. So when I see that, it tells me Houston's looking to play a 0-0 or a 1-1 match on Saturday, and any other shape of match is going to be 3 points for SDFC.
Yeah, and it's a match that will probably get very scrappy. Houston will try to really just rely on the talent they have sparse through, because again, I don't think there's a better team, and we go back to the team aspect, right, of San Diego FC and their success. I don't think there's a better team in the league right now. So if you have another squad that's coming in and saying, you know what, we're gonna play just not pretty. We're gonna try to be very, very rudimentary and try to maybe dirty things up and muddy the waters. And speaking of the fullbacks, right, if it does end up having to be Bombino sitting out, you throw out Negri in there, and now you're going to start asking some questions whether or not he can go ahead and keep up with that pace of the flying fullbacks on the attack for Houston, and what that's going to mean for somebody cleaning up. McVay is already cleaning up for the lack of Patty. Can he now help clean up for the lack of another player? Especially sticking to that play style. But yeah, that 4 away draws, it's not easy to perform well away. And so for a team that's in 10th place right now, right at the cusp of playoffs, looking at above Austin, Colorado, these are teams that SDFC have had difficulties with, but ultimately have been able to figure out. This is the first time they're facing them. So, historically, San Diego FC does very well against teams that they face for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see what San Diego FC comes out here at home.
Yeah, and those draws, just looking at them, they're against teams we've seen too: Columbus Crew, Sounders, Galaxy, Earthquakes. Well, we haven't seen Earthquakes yet, but yeah, those are some tough teams, especially Columbus Crew. So they're going to put up a little bit of a fight when playing away here at Snapdragon. So it should be another fun one. Hopefully we can do a little bit of a Texas sweep out there, and yeah, get another 3 points, because I'm starting the countdown. I'm officially, I think with each post, I'm going to start deducting how many more points they need to reach that milestone for expansion wins and expansion points.
Yeah, it's 5, right? 5 more wins to tie St. Louis City SC.
Yes, I just
12 to 17, right? We got 12. They got 17 was their number.
Yes.
So let's get it to 13. Honestly, I usually like to be really conservative about this stuff. I guess I should still be, because I don't want to be some fucking jinx. So go out there, play their best game, take it very seriously, and get a result. Get a result. Obviously, we want a dub, 3-0, 4-1, something like that. I want to see more dynamic play. I want to see the 3-headed monster up top, doing damage. The Chimera?
Ooh, that's a good one. Or the Hydra. Wasn't it the Hydra for Hercules?
Hydra.
Yeah, but Hydra has a whole bunch. Chimera has 3 heads.
3.
So, I don't know. You know, we're just Chimera for the Chimera Chromatos, the Chromato Chimera.
Cali Chimeras.
Cali
Whoa.
Chimeras. Okay.
We're working on it, gang. It's a workshop. It's a workshop. It's an open forum. Please contribute your ideas below in the comments here on YouTube for the best nickname for this front line for San Diego FC. But yeah, I'm looking forward to an incredible atmosphere. You know, Stars and Stripes night. Let's see how that all plays out. They're not going to wear some weird jingoistic uniform, right? They're not going to do it Padres style.
No.
They won't.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure. Making sure. And the very last thing, imagine being a San Jose Earthquakes fan. I'm sure they'll be up on the schedule in a little while, but imagine being a fan of Earthquakes and going, well, we've got this, you know, one professional team in our town other than Sharks. We got Sharks and we got Earthquakes, but our owner wants to sell us off, not so that he can buy his team in Vegas, but so that he can finance a shred of the overwhelming amount that he's going to fail to pay. They're just going to sell off the Earthquakes and still not build the stadium in Las Vegas. It's just going to be enough to just cover like a month's payment. Then they're going to be like, you don't have enough. I just couldn't be me. We've got an Egyptian billionaire in charge. He's not effing over Major League Baseball yet, as far as I know. So, you know, let's live in the Egyptian sunshine as long as we can. Here. Anything else, boys?
I don't believe so right now. Again, it's a good time to be a San Diego FC just follower, fan. Just it's good to be able to be next to this squad and some really good people. And we're gonna try to get more content. I know we've talked about this, Craig, a little bit through Chromaniacs. You get these interviews or the media availability, but I'd love to kind of expand on that too. It's just what people are enjoying. And again, thank you for the comments on this channel, SanDiego.Futbol, and just the interaction. And, you know, it was good to see people immediately say like, wow, Milan Liloski and his fantastic performance. I can't wait to see what the reaction is on the Chromaniacs and you know, all that good stuff. So I think it's a good space that we're all living in. You got Mondays, 2 balls and a mic. Thursdays, you can find the Chromaniacs in between their soccer coverage through or memes. Hey, El Terrible is good. I don't know if you remember Eric El Terrible Morales, a great legendary boxer from Tijuana, like just wars with
El Terrible.
Yes. But in any case, catch me at the San Diego County Fair tomorrow. It's the only day I ever go to the fair.
Right. You go every 4th of July.
Every 4th of July. I'm so excited.
It's a sickness. Actually. Honestly, it's an exciting, passionate sickness of yours. I don't understand it, but it makes me love and respect you even more that you put yourself through literally the worst day to go to the fair. And that's the only day you go to the fair. And so therefore for you, it's the best day to go to the fair because you don't experience any of the other superior days. You only go to the worst possible day. And therefore it becomes the best possible day. There is a beauty in that. It's hard to explain, but it is, it's pretty remarkable.
Get my itinerary. The only time I actually legitimately you know what? They get a day. This flag gets a day out of me, and it's the 4th of July for sure. Catch my itinerary on my social media accounts.
Alex, tell everyone where they can read Chromatic FC.
Yeah, on Substack and catch me on Blue Sky. And I can't wait to hear everybody back at Snapdragon. It's been a month. I want to hear everybody be loud, you know, cheering for this team. It's a great team, and I can't wait for Saturday. How about you, Craig?
I mean, I washed my silver suit in between the last home match and this, so it should be
good here. That's good.
Extra shiny. Yeah, it was hot that day. Extra shiny. You can follow me on 619 Sports and Life on Instagram, which of course apes over to Facebook as well. You can follow me on Blue Sky at 619 Sports, where most of my posts are complaining about Mike Schilt's lineup construction. But if that's something you want to read, please do. And thank you for making it to the end of the show. If you're on YouTube and you haven't clicked that thumbs up button yet, please do leave us a kind message. If you're listening to us on any podcast platform and it has a rating system and you can give us that 5 stars, kind written review, it does help us out. Until next week, for Alex Pena, Tony Sanchez, I'm Craig Elston. Vamos, SDFC.